Hello world, Wendy from Cali here, back with a Manny chat. I'm going to be doing another Manny bingo today. We are focusing on Floral Fun. And let's get started. I am waiting impatiently for updates on the big move. So if you guys follow this channel and have been watching the videos, you know that my aunt purchased a house a few doors down from where I live, and my significant other, Panda Bear, his sister's family is going to be moving into that house. And originally the move date was last week, but there was some drama with U-Haul that prevented us to have the move last week, and so today is the move. And before I get into the whole move, because I don't know all the details yet, I have like a few updates and stuff like that here and there from Panda Bear today. I can tell you some of the things that we've done to ensure that the house is ready for the big move-in. One thing we did do is on Saturday, our apartment manager and her husband came. Her husband is very handy, and he actually came over to help us install curtains in pretty much all of the rooms. Originally, Panda Bear and I were going to do it ourselves. We had done one set of curtains, the ones in the front living room, on Thursday on our own, but it was a lot of work. So Panda Bear called in reinforcement to help with hanging the curtains, and good thing he did, because the apartment manager's husband did a lot of work for us that day, and much appreciated. So that was Saturday. We spent most of the day over at the house taking care of that, and went out to dinner with the Rents, my parents, to eat hot pot, which was my dad's request, and it was absolutely delicious. There was a robot in the restaurant delivering dishes and picking up plates and stuff, so it's already happening in my neighborhood. Robots are taking over people's jobs. But it's actually was pretty helpful, that little robot, because it prevents human error of spilling things while trying to carry too many plates. So that was kind of cool to watch. My mom was like super stoked and excited about seeing the robot. She was having me try to take videos and pictures for her, and then she ended up doing it herself. And yeah, it was delicious food, and really just a good time to be had with the Rents. It was also kind of a rainy day towards the end of the day, so the hot pot was definitely a good call for a cooler evening here in SoCal. But Sunday, Panda Bear took me to Mikomi, which is a sushi restaurant in a nearing city, and they have 30% off from when they open to 3 p.m. So we got to enjoy a really delicious sushi meal before going over to the house to get more stuff prepped for the house. And it was a lot of work. to say the least. We were just hanging photos mostly, paintings and photos, but also there's a grid that my friend Na had given to me to give to Carla and the kiddos when they were living in the other house, and we used that storage grid to basically put school supplies and snacks for the kiddos. So I needed to make sure that that was all put up and ready to go, because we are starting homeschooling again this week, shortly after the move. So we wanted to make sure that everything was in order, school supplies were easily accessible, ready to go for when we start classes again. So that was Sunday. It's been a while because the last time I did a video, I believe, oh, this one's not sticky anymore. That's not gonna work. I believe that I just did a binder tour, so I didn't really talk too much about like what's been going on in my life since then. So we had like an employee appreciation day on Wednesday of the past week, and there was Yogurtland for us. There was also a masseuse in-house for a few hours, and it was just awesome. Like, and I had a team building event for my team scheduled for that same day as well, and we basically played Boggle, and the dessert was brookies. So Boggles and brookies was the theme for the day, and although some of my team members couldn't make it for one reason or another, those that could make it, we had a lot of fun kind of poking fun at each other, because if you've never played Boggle, you'll know that it's kind of hard trying to find words in the dice, the letter dice that have been cast, and when you're looking at it from all different angles and stuff like that, it's sometimes like hard under pressure within a 3-minute time frame to come up with words. So the basic premise of Boggle is whoever comes up with the most unique words and scores the most points basically is the winner. And so it was a lot of fun. Only one of us has played Boggle before, and it wasn't me. It was my very first time playing Boggle. The whole reason I bought Boggle to begin with is because I read a book by Nicholas Sparks and M. Night Shyamalan called Remain, and in the book they had mentioned the game of Boggle. In the bookshelf version, which let me pull over, I still have it with me here at work, but Boggle, the vintage bookshelf version, and it just basically looks like a book, and inside is the game itself. But anywho, we played that 4 rounds of it. It was a lot of fun. So just thought I'd share about that. Anyways, let's see, trying to figure out where the flowers will look best. This one I want on my ring finger because the thumb is going to also have a similar design. But yeah, I am here just waiting for Panda Bear to come pick me up. They have to finish the move first and wait for traffic to die down before coming to get me. And I am super hungry, so after this I will be going downstairs. One thing we did on Friday after work when we got home was we went over to the new house to test the oven and the stove to make sure everything worked. And good thing we did, because while we were there, we were testing the microwave as well, and the microwave did not work. The microwave literally was like crackling and sparking, and I didn't put any metal inside the microwave or anything. I was just trying to melt some butter in a ceramic bowl, and yeah, we tested out the microwave in 2 different plugs and discovered that the microwave that came with the house was not workable. It's dead. So safety hazard. Thank goodness we tested it out so that Mama Carla and the kiddos didn't end up accidentally using it. The stove, however, did work just fine, and so did the oven. I had made some ribeye steaks and some Hasselback. Is it called Hasselback? Hasselback potatoes. And it was a delicious meal to be had on Friday, which the leftovers I get to enjoy today. So that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to hurry up and get my nails done so that I can go and heat up dinner and eat my meal of the day, which is a very fine meal, a very filling meal, so that when Pan Bear comes to pick me up really late today, I can just go home and go to bed. That is the goal. But yeah, what else can I talk about? Books wise, the last book that I listened to was this compilation. It was an audiobook of J.K. Rowling's all her other little books that are related to Harry Potter. So there was like a collection of the books in an audiobook, and I was listening to that. And so that was the last audiobook that I listened to. I am now currently listening to, on my audible.com subscription, Midnight Sun by, what is the author's name? Jennifer Meyer? No, not Jennifer Meyer. Maybe? Stephanie Meyer. The one that wrote all the Twilight series books. Midnight Sun is basically the first book, Twilight, but in Edward Cullen's point of view instead of Bella Swan's point of view. And so that is what I'm currently listening to. As far as what I'm currently watching, haven't really watched too much stuff, but on YouTube, I started watching this channel. This guy gives tips and tricks. Oh shoot, those were different flowers. I was not paying attention. Oh well, it's fine. Both hands don't have to match. I was not paying attention. No wonder. Okay, anyways, so this guy gives tips and tricks and stuff like that for how to arrange your home, how to, like, I think it's mostly about arranging furniture, but basically to maximize the space and make it look like intentional versus like cheap and unintentional. So one of the things that he said was don't have furniture all up against the wall and leaving a blank open space in the middle. And then another was to not just focus on the middle and lower part of the house, but also the upper. So making sure that, you know, hanging curtains, for example, kind of helps elevate the eye to like look up if you're hanging like curtains all the way at the top of the windows, or having like a big painting to kind of like hang up high so that, you know, it draws the eye, so that it's not just the middle and lower part of the room being decorated. Because most of us typically just focus on, you know, furnishings like the couch, the TV, rugs, coffee tables, and stuff like that, and forget to, you know, decorate the walls, and the like, or have, you know, like a standing plant or lamp that kind of breaks up the line where the middle of the room would be. So I really enjoyed watching some of the videos I watched over the weekend. I was telling Panda Bear, because he had sent me a text asking me to remind him what I said about the placement of the couches and stuff like that. And so I was trying to show him pictures where I drew like a big circle around the areas of the house where the couch placement should be and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see if they actually did that when I go over tomorrow after work to help them unpack. Because one of the things I love doing is organizing and unpacking. Not everyone is into doing that, and I'm one of those. When I go on vacation, the very first thing I do is I will unpack my bag. So that is what I plan to do tomorrow after work, is to go over there, help with the unpacking, and also like the probably babysitting for a little bit while Amalika gets to go to her gymnastics. So then that way Lilith and Allison don't have to go sit and be in that stinky gym that smells like feet. I mean, obviously gymnastics people are going to be there with bare feet on the mats and stuff like that. So that ends up causing the room to smell very much like a gym. Rightly so. Yeah. Anywho, I was going to try to do one strip on 2 fingers, but I think my nails are a little bit too long for that to happen. So I'm just going to fold this over and use the nail file to help me file off the excess. But yeah, I can't wait to help them unpack their stuff. Panda Bear is going to be super busy this week because his job after the move is to get the house that they're moving out of as clean as possible before handing it over to the landlord next week. So he will be super busy, and my job is to kind of help ensure that things continue as far as all the unpacking goes and the homeschooling and all of that. So I am up to the challenge to ensure that that happens. So yeah, I'm wondering, do I want to? Yeah, I do. We're gonna put this off to the corner right here. Try to get as much of those cacti on there. But one of the little things that I did in the house, which I hope the kiddos will notice and be excited about, is each of them have a Sanrio character that's like their favorite. So Allison's is Pom Pom Purin, Lilith's is Kuromi, and Amalika's is Cinnamoroll. And I took a sticker of each of them and I stuck them somewhere in their new rooms so that they can find them. And Panda Bear helped me with that yesterday. And this will be the very first time that the girls will all have their own rooms. They were sharing a room together at the other house, and they're all growing up, 7-year-old, 9-year-olds, and getting to the point where it's really important to have their own space. So I remember, I think I was around 8.5, almost 9, when we had moved from Southern California to Northern California. And before we moved, it was the 3 of us kiddos sharing a room with my mom. King size bed for the 4 of us. And when we moved, my dad took an office, my sister and I shared a room, and my brother had his own room. So I was not used to having my own room until I moved and went to college. But even so, like, having my own room is like overrated, because when I was in college, so I, in the dorm room, had my roommate, my best friend from 3rd grade, since 3rd grade, Lynn, and I shared a dorm room. And then we shared an apartment room. And then later on, finally, I had my own room. But it was overrated. Like, I didn't really care to have my own room. I much prefer to live with people. And especially now that I am with Panda Bear, I enjoy having our shared space together. And we have the most amazing bed, which we finally purchased, I think it was last year, because I used to have like major back issues, and I attributed a lot of it to our bed, our cheap mattress and all of that. And so we invested in a really pricey purple mattress, which I do not regret doing at all. It also has an adjustable bed frame, so we can go into 0 gravity if we wanted to, or have our head up, kind of like hospital beds, but better, obviously, because hospital beds are not comfortable. But loving the bed. And this year I got my birthday presents from Lynn and my sister Michelle, and I've been ordering cheeses from Gardner's Wisconsin Cheese since, like, I want to say November of last year, and it's almost like every other month, almost monthly, in fact, if we actually look at my past orders. And my friend Lynn had sent me a charcuterie board, a cheese board. It actually isn't called a charcuterie board. It literally, the box says cheese board. And I thought that was so funny and also appropriate, because my cheese order for this month arrived the same day as the cheese board did. So I thought that was so funny and meant to be. So yeah. And then my sister, one of the gifts that she mailed to me arrived, and it was a sleeping eye mask, which, again, sleep is so uber important. So I thought that that was really appropriate too. So, fun stuff. But my sister said that was one of the gifts. So there's something else coming that I'm not sure when. She said it might come after my birthday, which is totally fine. Like, we're not even really celebrating my birthday until after my birthday. Like, our plans are, because of the move, we were going to celebrate Allison's birthday, my birthday, and Mother's Day all on the weekend of Mother's Day. So yeah, that is the plan, at least. And I'm excited for it because I've been gathering presents for Allison for a while now. If you guys know me, I like to shop throughout the year and really kind of anything that inspires me, I will buy it and save it for the special occasion. And so for Allison, I've been slowly gathering stuff for her birthday, which is the day after mine. But she will be with her mom her birthday weekend, and her birthday lands on a Monday, and my birthday is this coming Sunday. And so Panda Bear is taking me out on a date before we have to pick up Allison from her mom's that Sunday. And so Devil Wears Prada 2 is on the calendar for us to go watch, and I'm super excited because I love the first one. So I don't even know what the second one's going to be about, and I don't care, because as long as it gives the same feels as the first one did, I will enjoy it. And Anne Hathaway is really cool. I like seeing her in movies, from Princess Diaries to Devil Wears Prada to what was the latest one I watched with her in it? It was something that was on Amazon Prime, and I can't remember the name of the movie, but I also ended up listening to the audiobook that it was based off of. And yeah, that was also a decent movie. Entertaining, to say the least. But yeah. Anywho, enough rambling. Panda Bear is going to be at the racetrack. It is Kentucky Derby this weekend, and so he and his buddies are always up for live racing, even though when they go to the racetrack, it's not actually live racing, because Kentucky Derby is obviously in Kentucky, but they go to the racetrack to spend time together and bet on horses and whatever guys do when they're bonding. I therefore will have a free Saturday to myself, and what I plan on doing is I am going to be making a new batch of soap. So I already wrote it all out in my little, I know, these knockoff Sanrio stuff. This is not my Melody, this is Pachaco, my absolute favorite character, but my Melody is my second, so I thought that was cool. But this is the soap. Actually, here, let's go backwards. This is a soap, Sandalwood Bergamot Jasmine soap, that I made and is going to be ready for use this coming weekend. So I made the batch March 17th, and it'll be done May 2nd. So about 6 weeks wait time. This Saturday, when this batch is done, I'm going to be making lemon eucalyptus rosemary cedarwood soap. And so I've already written out what I need as far as ingredients go. And we shall see how it turns out. All I know is the current batch that's ready this weekend smells divine, but looks atrocious. So I don't know what happened, but the mixture of like the fats and the liquids and all of that didn't quite like gel together smoothly. So I don't know. It smells good, and when I was washing like the excess of it off of the silicone molds, it felt good. So I have a feeling the soaps will be okay for use. It's just not pretty to look at. But I'll take a picture and show you guys what I mean when I get the batch ready for use this weekend. And yeah, this is my final mani. It's kind of subtle, but fits for Floral Fun. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. If you watched all the way through, you can comment below, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Because it's Floral Fun, any flower emoji will be awesome and welcome, as well as a cactus emoji, because this has a little bit of a cacti motif here. And yeah, otherwise, I will see you all in the next video. Peace.